Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Reports are coming out of Brazil, where UFC 224 is taking place this weekend, that UFC employees were robbed at gunpoint. There are numbers anywhere from 10 to 20 UFC employees were outside of their hotel. They weren't even that far away from their hotel. There was actually one of the managers, a UFC manager, was he did a report with TMZ where he explained what happened. He actually had a gun put to his face, he said, with an extended magazine and stuff. He explained it, the situation and how it took place, and he said, 10 or more UFC employees, but I think there was an update on Gunpoint where they actually said up to 20 UFC employees were robbed in this altercation. They took I think phones, purses, passports, and all of that sort of stuff, that the UFC employees had on them. Now, with that being said, going into this, was this just a random act? It very well could have been. I mean, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, either the last time the UFC went to Brazil or the time before that, actually, UFC employees might have been robbed in Brazil. And now this might be the second. Going farther back, it could be, if happened even more. But all I'm saying is, man, the UFC's got to be careful over there in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Duck your motherfucking taco, especially with Colby Covington on the loose. You know what I'm saying? That could have played a part in this, and now there's no reason or way to connect that unless they come out and say it. But if you recall, Colby Covington and UFC's last trip to Brazil in the Octagon talked about, this place is a dump, filthy animals, boom, boom. He's been disrespecting a lot of Brazilian fighters in the country of Brazil, and that was pretty recently. Actually, Colby Covington was talked about being on this card at UFC 224. There were talks of that, but it was actually, the fight was moved to UFC 225. Now, that also, Rafael dos Anjos, who Colby Covington's going to be fighting, said he believes that the UFC had to move the fight to Chicago instead of Brazil because, if you recall, Conor McGregor and the bus attack, he threw that dolly and stuff. Conor McGregor's crew, the Mac Life Media crew, Conor McGregor either owns, that's his media site, MacLife.com. The Mac Life crew, so they've got reporters, they've got people, cameramen and stuff like that. Those guys are allegedly the people who let Conor McGregor in, his crew, in the back door for that whole situation to take place. So if the UFC, had trouble keeping Conor McGregor out of that situation, which was unexpected. They didn't expect that. If they brought Colby Covington over here, they'd probably expect, to have to protect him pretty high, high security. I don't even know if the juice is worth the squeeze there. You have to fucking pay Colby Covington, put him in bulletproof cars, presidential. I don't even know if Colby Covington's worth that at this point, you know what I'm saying? But Colby Covington at the same time is a target in Brazil, you would assume. So with that being said, the fight was moved to UFC 225, and now the UFC employees have been robbed in Brazil. So with that being said, it is what it is. Pretty serious situation. Nobody was hurt. That's the good news. I know there was probably some people shaken up. This is a situation where people can really get shaken up, especially if you consider, and even the dolly situation as well. But this situation right here, bro, when guns are in your face and you're having all your stuff taken in. And this guy in the TMZ thing said that one of the robbers, there was a lady, a female employee, and she had a necklace, and they just reached and snatched it right off of her neck. And that's pretty fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That's an assault at that point, when you're snatching shit off of people's necks. So nobody was seriously hurt, but still, that's something that is pretty fucked up, especially it happened to a chick, you know what I'm saying? But I was talking about the shit, these guns and shit, and these are not people, these weren't the fighters, as far as we've heard, it's just other employees, regular day job people who work for the UFC, not fighters, you know what I'm saying, hardened fighters that you look at like, strong people who in this situation might not be affected as much depending on their situation. But these are just regular employees, and there was a gun here, so this could affect some of these people, So with that being said, hopefully these people are all cool, especially the chick who got her necklace out, and hopefully there will be some justice served for these employees because they're just regular people, you know what I'm saying? And they said they were advised not to go far away from the hotel. They weren't even far away from the hotel, bruh. They were like across the street, literally. And they said whenever the UFC comes to Brazil, that's a place the UFC employees frequently sit. You know, just like some you know, umbrellas up with some tables and chairs around them, just outside. So with that being said, Dana White, I believe, did say the security footage is being pulled, so there might be video of the incident, or at least the people might come to justice or something. So with that being said, this just happened a little earlier today. Actually, I was at work at UFC 220, ahead of UFC 224 in Brazil. That's 2 UFCs in a row. There's been, you know, some craziness as far as the Conor McGregor throwing the dolly, and now this is an actual robbery, fucking guns and shit. So that's pretty cool. That's always, to me, that ups the ante. You know, it's not just some fighter coming through on a possibly coked up rage, throwing shit, breaking windows, and possibly cutting people. You know, no one could have really been killed in that situation. Here, when you got fucking guns with extended clips and multiple people, just employees out there, that's pretty fucking, you know, that could jog your mind. You know what I'm saying? My girl went through that not too long ago. Pretty crazy situation. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.